If access to commerce requires compliance with the help of these decentralized digital systems, how would believers respond? We are seeing a full compliance because we're being deceived. We're being told that these new digital systems that are coming along are all for our own good. They will ease all our worries. They will ease our jobs. Believers are called to remain grounded and wise, spiritually anchored, and making secondary preparations for when the day comes that perhaps you decide not to take the mark of the beast. You will need a back support. How are you going to provide food for your kids? How are you going to drive to your work? Are you going to go to work if you're required to have a digital ID that's inserted into your body? These are all questions that ought to be answered. We are here. There is no more time. We thought we have maybe 5, 10, 20, 30 years. We're not. We don't have that kind of time anymore, brothers and sisters. It is time to clean up house. It is time to check where you belong and make your own decision, make a statement of which side are you on. And the pandemic was a dry run for the scenario that's coming up, for the implementation requirements of the mark of the beast, for the entire infrastructure. The only thing that will be missing then is you and I as the end unit at the end of it, getting interaction, buying and selling, and participating in this society. What will happen to your kids? Will they be able still to go to school? These are questions that you have to sit down with your family and go over this, make a plan, just like you have or make a plan for an emergency exit, for emergency evacuations or fire drills. This is a time that requires carefully thinking through ahead. We are not in the times anymore where we can just hope that our governments are taking care of us. They never did, but somehow we were still kind of surviving. Well, this new technology that's being implemented as I speak is infringing, and there will be no options available. There will be no other option. That's what it means by a totalitarian, authoritarian regime that only an artificial intelligence could run, because it requires a lot of data processing. No human on the planet could sit on top of this entire system and filter through and see what you and I are doing. Think about it. Earlier generations could only imagine what that authority structure might look like. This is the first time in history that all elements of this system, of the future beast system, are here. The technological infrastructure is here, and therefore discernment is even more so essential. Global digital authority systems are being synchronized into just one global digital authority, and Revelation 13 has long warned us about this exact point in time where we are right now in 2026, just before when a developed exponential artificial intelligence that is ready to synthesize and synchronize all these transactions at once using all this data, technological data, and data points about each of us for the first time in human history. Buying and selling can be universally tracked, it can be restricted or enabled through integrated technological system. Think about your digital payments, the online banking, your debit cards, our mobile wallets, and all our transactions that are being done digitally for our own ease of functioning in the society. What once seemed optional, now it's essential. Welcome, Light Warriors Rising. This is Deanna. In today's show, we're discussing God, AI, and the Antichrist global digital authority system and Revelation 13, and how discernment is the key to understanding one, the times that we live in, and discerning between deception and truth. Scripture describes a worldwide influence over commerce and allegiance. Revelation 13, 16 to 17 says, it also causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless they have the mark, that is, the name of the beast or the number of its name. And this passage clearly connects a global participation from you and I and our families and our neighbors and everybody across the globe in a commerce while having an allegiance in giving our free will to a power, to a centralized authority that is above all this, that is at the top of this infrastructure. And no human on the planet would be able to maneuver or discern or collect all this data. This is clearly an introduction and alluring, it allures to an artificial singularity, artificial general intelligence, or artificial singularity that is able to convert all the data that's coming in real time. No human can do that. And that has never happened in history, ever. This is why we've been warned for thousands of years about this exact point in time and why this matters for the Christians, for the brothers and sisters, to be discerning of this time and make alternate routes of preparation to prepare themselves to imagine, if you wish, some other ways of doing transactions, and you're buying and pumping gas in your car and go do your groceries and buy groceries and go to a movie theater. We need to get prepared for what is coming. Digital identity systems, centralized banking platforms, AI-driven financial monitoring in real time, programmable digital currencies. These all demonstrate how economic participation can now be digitally regulated. Let me give you an example. Remember the Canadian truckers a few years back when they stopped traffic downtown Toronto to make a point about some social inadequacies and some social rulings that were imposed upon the public. The truckers took it downtown. Do you remember what happened to their bank accounts? The second or the third day, everybody's accounts of the participants got frozen. What do you think they did? They went home, they packed, and they went home to their families because they have to feed their families. And this was just one example of what is coming. For the first time, we are watching integrated digital technological systems that have the ability to be coordinated in real time by a general artificial intelligence to keep track of everything that's happening on this planet. Think about the military drones, for example, in the military. All this data that is being collected and military decisions are being done through sifting all the data that's being collected, but the decisions are being automated with an AI, artificial intelligence, in itself probably being an AGI, like in that territory, it's an encased AGI. We are giving left and right our power to a soon to be dominant singularity that is none other than the Antichrist and the mark of the beast. Think about digital identity. Unified digital ID systems show how identity and access could merge in the future. The model, the template that's being used is the Chinese social points, where you lose points if you don't comply. If you are not saying the correct things, if you have not perhaps professed your allegiance to the Antichrist, you automatically lose access to buying and selling, even if you have the mark of the beast. But one day you decide, well, no, I don't want to do it anymore. One, you cannot take that out because it's working with nanobots. So they circulate now in your entire body. In John 1 John 4:1 says, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit. Test the spirits to see whether they are from God, for many false prophets have gone out into the world." Well, testing systems, it truly means evaluating not only capability, well, is the system capable of collecting all this data, but also evaluating, well, what kind of influence does it do? Who are you signing an allegiance to? In quantum mechanics, there is a law that it says the more you look at something, the more power you give it to. And that is the law of resonance. The more you're focusing on one thing, the more you give it more power. In the same way, we are seeing the rise of the system of the future mark of the beast system that's taking place right now. And if you will want to go do your groceries or pump gas in your car or renew your driving license, it will mean that in the next 2-3 years, you will actually subscribe to a system that in the background it's being run by a force, by a spirit, if you wish, by a demon. So it doesn't mean that the technology itself is the Antichrist or the technology is to be feared. but it means that the environment for a centralized global authority is now possible due to the fast rise of artificial intelligence that surpasses this year all human intelligence put together, and it's self-learning, acquiring a self-learning concept and inside a self-learning process, spiraling process, that many question if that is the place where it's starting to develop a conscience. So although technology is beneficial and efficient, although there's concerns if we are misplacing trust and we are not questioning decentralization. In fact, there is nowhere you can go and question it because it's done automatically and it's done right under our noses, and we have the general public has no say in this regards. Yet, you and I, we are consumers. So in that respect, we do have a say. That can be run only by an AI. And I believe we are there. The word resh, Hebrew 7217, calls attention to the times that we're in, where there is a war on your mind, there's a war on the sum of all human intelligence that's going to be surpassed. So it doesn't belong to you anymore. It will be hijacked by artificial intelligence. And there is a war of an AI race, of an AI race. Who's going to lead? Who's going to be the fastest on top of all this entire global system? And even if there will be three, China, right? China, Asia, America, and then Russia and Europe, so 3 or 4, there's still where you will be living, that's where you will be staying. And you will be immersed into this kind of artificial system that does not value life, does not value ethics, does not care if you had to buy diapers for your baby today instead of paying your electricity bill. This is the world where we'll be moving into very soon here. We do hope we will be taken out of here very soon. But for the likes of what's coming, for the entire picture that's being presented to us, we are looking at indeed times of trouble. Therefore, this message is not to instill fear, but rather to instill, call for discernment, call for self-aware, self-questioning, and being self-aware, and know yourself. Talk to God. See what could you be doing in where you live right now. How are you going to bypass what is coming, the mark of the beast, the Antichrist? So the digital global system that is soon to be authoritarian because it's built on the template of the Chinese system of social points has been long warned of in Revelation 13. And we've been warned, but we've been warned for what, brothers and sisters? We've been warned so we don't succumb to it, but rather have a plan, make a plan, have a plan, sit your family down, decide and make a decision. Talk to your people. What are we going to do? Do we have food? Are we going to be still living in the cities? Are we moving down to the countryside? Are we growing our own food? These a lot of questions that have been answered by proper channels. So there is ways to go and find out and have more ideas. I'm here to say we're at a time where we cannot afford one more day of hoping and wishful hoping that, well, it won't be this bad. Yes, it will be as bad as it's been told is going to be because we've been worried about this. So, brothers and sisters, I hope you stay prayed up. Ask your prayers to God and ask questions. Find out what options are there. What options do you have as a Christian? Because AI is developing so fast that has all the points, all the checkpoints, and all the checkboxes checked for becoming the Antichrist and wanting to be like an authoritarian false God to compete with our Jesus Lord, with our true God. Be blessed. Tell us where you're tuning in from and leave your comments, subscribe, like, and share. I love you all. Until later on, Diana signing out.